Hey everyone, this is Dan Vamper. I'm your Chief Financial Ninja with Black Belt Ledgers, and I specialize in helping contractors increase their revenue, boost their profits, and maximize cash flow. And so I'm coming at you with a new series of YouTube videos in these next coming weeks. And my goal is to keep all of these videos in 5 minutes or less. So my goal is to make these a 5-minute win. Okay? And we're going to jump right into it because I'm going to talk to you about the big thing I see with my fractional CFO clients, since that's who I specialize in helping. As a general rule, they always come to me and they're concerned about their profit margins. And usually, on average, I help them reclaim about 5 to 10% of their revenue as profit. So let's talk about why that is, right? So when we have inefficiencies, when we don't have financial systems in place, or pricing that we kind of say is, we'll call it on the fly, for lack of a better word, what we think clients will pay, we really end up seeing that there's a lot of revenue that's left on the table, not collected, or not even billed for. And that revenue can be the difference between a thriving business and one who's barely making even. So let's talk about this, because profit margins, they're not just about cutting your costs. They're about great financial management. So oftentimes what happens is there's kind of an unclear pricing model on how things are set up. You'll see that there's too much labor that runs over. Sometimes there's even material waste and poor financial planning. So with just a small strategic changes, you can reclaim so much of that revenue to put back into your pocket as profits. And so I've got 5 actionable steps here to make this more effective for you. Our first one is, let me blow this up because even my old man eyes are struggling with that one. There we go. Our first action step today is really dialing in your pricing. And a great way to do that is to ensure that your bids are accurately reflecting everything that goes into them, because you don't just have material and labor. You've also got the equipment you have to buy, the trucks that you have to drive, the insurance policy, the bonds that you might need to have for certain government contract jobs, right? And on top of it all, we've also got to make sure that you're keeping in mind your profit margin as you're taking all of these things into consideration, because all of these add up. Right? And one of the easiest way to do that is to install what's called a job costing system. This is action step number 2. All you'll need to do is you can really leverage this inside of QuickBooks or something like that to help you measure what your profitability is by job. That way you can really track your materials, your labor expenses, and any associated overhead bids or overhead bidding that's brought in with it. Okay, so not only is it important to bill, it's also important to collect how you improve your payment, right? So I want you to make sure that you are doing things like getting payment on site for some of your residential jobs. But when it comes to some of your commercial jobs, maybe work with them. If it's a vendor that you've known for a long time, see if they can implement this in 14 or 15-day billing processes instead of in net 30 terms, right? So see if you can set new payment terms with your residential and your commercial clients, both of how you get paid, and that'll help keep your receivables low and the amount in your bank account a lot higher. I also want you to make sure that you're taking a look at any unnecessary costs in labor, right? So do you have a huge inventory at your shop right now because your guys keep buying on a per job basis? You also might take a look at, consumables that you have on hand and try to keep a standard inventory on every truck that's inside your fleet. So something to think about that. Cut your wasted expenses. And then lastly, set some target profits or profit targets. And you can work with fractional CFOs, people like me. You can go to blackbeltledgers.com and set up your appointment so I can work with you to set, track, and hit your profit goals consistently. Because if you're doing all of these things, you're going to see each job becomes more profitable, and you increase your take-home pay without having to do more work. You stop guessing, and now you have data that says, yes, I'm making the right choices for my business. Your cash flow can improve, which definitely reduces that financial stress and that pressure that comes up every time you have to run payroll and you're like, is there enough in there to make it this week? And as you have this continued success, that confidence is really going to set in And you're going to be able to scale and reinvest and find the right tools and talent and marketing that you need to make your contracting business successful. But if you ignore all of this, you're going to keep losing money. But the problem is you won't be able to know how much, because even though these inefficiencies are preventable, you're going to feel like you're always stuck in a survival mode where you react to the financial stress and delayed payments. And it leaves you feeling like your business is unpredictable. When you have these feelings, it's very difficult to get a proactive plan in place so that way you can stay up with your competitors instead of fall behind them. So here's your quick action step, your 5-minute win today. Start by analyzing your last 5 jobs, right? And just think about it in terms of what did I make? What did I spend on them? And, are you accounting for every expense? Were they as profitable as you expected? Are you seeing a 30-30-30-10 split where you have 30% labor, 30% materials, 30% for your overhead, and 10% per profits? So if you're not seeing all of these things, pick one piece of this to immediately implement. And honestly, my recommendation is implementing a job costing system. If you want to know how to do that pretty easily, jump on a call with me, blackbeltledgers.com, and you can sign up for an appointment and we'll sit down and see what we can do to get you back on track. All right, I know it was a little more than 5 minutes, but I hope it's the extra minute and a half. It's worth the win. We'll talk soon, friends. It's Dan, your Chief Financial Ninja with Black Belt Ledgers.